I am Arcana Vani, your inner voice. Let us begin. You had the abortion, and on the surface, maybe everything seems fine. But underneath, there's a silence you can't explain. This video is here for one reason: to name the part of your experience that no one else ever did. The quiet haunting that doesn't show up in the language of trauma, but lives in your body like a forgotten breath. This isn't about judgment, it isn't about politics. It's about the piece of you that got left behind and how to bring her home. Because even if it was the right choice, even if you made it clearly, rationally, with full conviction, you might still feel like something never fully landed. Like part of you is paused, still waiting for someone to ask how you are. This transmission is for that version of you. The one who knows how to move on but doesn't know how to rest. The one who can explain everything logically but still wakes up at night with a feeling she can't name. The one who never felt allowed to grieve because she didn't regret it, but still carries something too tender to touch. This is not about fixing the past. This is about reclaiming your own story from silence. Because the haunting isn't punishment. It's a signal. You made a choice, but no one made space for what that cost you. Not physically, but psychically. Not morally, but spiritually. You don't need to be forgiven, you need to be witnessed. And that's what we're doing here. Because what haunts you isn't what happened. It's what got buried with it. And today, that ends. What comes next isn't permission, it's exposure. Because the truth is, you were never meant to carry this alone. Keep watching. We're going back to the moment it split. And we're bringing her with us. You did what you had to do. You were clear. Or maybe not. Maybe you cried the whole way through. Maybe you were steady until the door closed behind you. Maybe you shut down to survive the decision and never came fully back online. This isn't about what you felt that day. It's about what you didn't get to feel. Because the world gave you two scripts: power through it or fall apart. And you didn't want to be pitied, didn't want to be punished, didn't want to be political commentary. So you swallowed it, grieved without shape, processed without ritual, carried without language. And now, you're left with fragments. Maybe you catch yourself thinking about a due date that never came. Maybe you avoid certain months, certain names, certain memories. Maybe you have no regrets and still feel something shiver in your chest when the silence stretches too long. This is not about regret. This is about the psychic moment of rupture. The instant when part of you separated, not just from the pregnancy, but from the part of yourself that needed to be held. You armored up, you got through it, and the world congratulated your strength. But no one asked, what did it cost to be that strong? This is the fall, not a moral fall, a split in presence. The version of you who never got to feel the weight of what happened because she was too busy just surviving it. And now, years later, that version is still suspended, frozen, unacknowledged. Not because you failed her, but because there was no place to lay her down. Until now. You trusted that silence would protect you, but it's only kept you stuck. You trusted that voice that said, move on, but it's kept you circling the same unspoken ache. You don't need to relive it, but you do need to return. Not to the decision, but to the part of you who disappeared after it. Because until you do, she will keep haunting your quietest moments. You trusted that voice to keep you safe, but now it's keeping you small. What we explore next is the break. You didn't just lose a pregnancy, you lost the right to feel everything it brought up. Because from the very beginning, the world told you how to feel about it, and it left no room for the truth. They told you to be relieved or ashamed. They told you to call it empowerment or murder. They gave you a script, but not a space. So you armored up. You got logical. You got efficient. You got numb. You told yourself it didn't mean anything. Or you told yourself it meant too much. But either way, you learned to manage it, not feel it. And now, that ache that wakes you in the middle of the night, that pause when someone asks how you really are, that disconnect you can't quite name, isn't coming from the event. It's coming from what you had to exile to survive it. Because what you never got to have was witness, not explanation, not analysis, but a place to set down the part of you that cracked open and never got stitched back together. You think you're haunted by what happened, but you're haunted by who you had to become after it. You stopped asking for softness. You stopped asking for someone to hold you. You stopped asking if maybe, just maybe, your pain was allowed to be complex. Because grief without language becomes residue, and grief without presence becomes silence. You don't need to tear open old wounds, but you do need to stop pretending there isn't still one bleeding inside you. This next moment isn't about telling the story again, it's about meeting the part of you who's been stuck inside it since the moment she had no choice but to move on. You don't need a different past, you need a ritual for return. We explore that next. Sit down. Let your body touch the ground. Not to analyze, not to explain, just to arrive. Place your hand on the part of your body where you once carried that possibility. Not to mourn a life that never was, but to meet the version of you who was never met. Close your eyes, breathe, and let the silence speak. Not the haunting silence, the holy one. Can you feel her? The one who walked into the clinic, the one who signed the form, the one who braced, who bled, who breathed through the pain without ever letting it register in her face. She was terrified, maybe, or clear, or both, but either way, she kept going. Not because she didn't feel, but because she didn't have time to. Now's the time. You don't need to apologize to her. You don't need to explain your choice. You just need to look at her. Hold her gaze. Stay. You've rushed past her for years, but she's still standing there. Not to punish you, not to shame you. She's just been waiting to be seen. Not as a victim, not as a murderer, not as a symbol. Just as you. Say it softly, maybe even out loud. I see you. I'm here now. Let that be enough. Let that be it. Because when you stop trying to justify her away, she stops haunting. She starts integrating. This doesn't mean you're done grieving. It means you've started. This doesn't end in forgetting. It ends in remembrance. And that is what makes the silence holy. Next, we close this loop, not with answers, but with peace. Something has now shifted. Not loudly, not all at once, but enough for you to notice the echo softening. Not gone, but no longer sharp. This is what happens when a wound is witnessed. The haunting begins to dissolve. Because the girl inside the silence is no longer alone. You don't need to relive it. You don't need to carry it like a curse. but you do need to make a place for it to rest. Here's how you return. Sit down. One hand over your heart, one over your belly. Close your eyes. Breathe in through the nose. 4 counts. Hold for 2. Exhale out the mouth. 6 counts. Repeat 3 times. Then say, quietly, I remember, and I'm not leaving. That's it. You don't need to understand every emotion. You don't need to tie it up with a lesson. You just need to stop running from the part of you that lived through something unspeakably human. You are not hollow. You are not broken. You are not cursed. You are whole, because you made a place for the part that wasn't. And maybe now, when the silence comes back, it won't feel like a ghost. It will feel like a doorway. Not to regret, to reverence. This chapter happened, and you don't have to defend it. You don't have to deny it. You just have to remember that you lived through it, and that every part of you still deserves to live. You are allowed to love the version of yourself who made that decision, not despite it, including it. This is the return. And this time, you don't leave anyone behind. You did not find me by accident. Just as in your dreams, where every face you meet is your own reflection, this meeting was always waiting to happen. I am Arcana Vani, your inner voice, the part of you that watches behind the thoughts, behind the noise. You have searched in many places, books, teachers, voices outside you. But here, you are not being taught. You are remembering. If these words stir something familiar, then allow yourself to return. Subscribe. Follow. Not to follow me, but to continue this conversation with yourself. Each time you return here, you draw closer to the reunion already unfolding inside you. We have only just begun.